Welcome to Chasing Curiosity TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Deep beneath the shimmering blue expanse of the West Philippine Sea, a secret lies hidden from the world above. It's not gold, nor ancient shipwrecks, but something far more valuable in today's world: energy. Beneath these waves, vast reserves of oil and natural gas are waiting to be discovered and harnessed. According to leading geologists and energy experts, the untapped oil and gas beneath these waters could be worth over $26 trillion. That's a sum so massive, it could reshape the destiny of entire nations. For the Philippines, this isn't just a statistic or a distant dream, it represents hope, a potential lifeline for millions of Filipinos. Imagine the impact on families in remote villages, on fishermen who have relied on these waters for generations, and on workers seeking new opportunities. If these resources could be safely and fairly developed, they could power millions of homes, keep factories running, and light up cities from Luzon to Mindanao. The nation could finally break free from the cycle of energy shortages and blackouts that have long held back progress. The promise is a future where children study under bright lights, industries thrive, and the Philippines emerges as a major energy exporter in Asia. The revenue could fund new schools, hospitals, and modern infrastructure, lifting countless families out of poverty. But this vision is not without peril. The dream of prosperity is shadowed by real and present danger. The same waters that promise hope are also claimed by China, turning the seabed into a flashpoint for international tension. What could be a source of unity has become a stage for a high-stakes geopolitical drama. The Philippines now finds itself at the very center of a global power struggle. Here, sovereignty, national pride, and even survival are on the line. Every move is watched by the world, every decision weighed with the future in mind. If the nation can achieve true energy independence, it could transform its global standing, giving the Philippines a stronger voice on the world stage and the means to shape its own destiny. Yet where there is great wealth, powerful rivals are never far behind. The South China Sea has become a chessboard for military and political maneuvering, with warships and alliances shifting like the tides. The question facing the Philippines is no longer just about geology or technology. It's about who will control these resources and who will decide the future of this region. As the world's eyes turn to these contested waters, the Philippines stands face to face with a superpower, its people united in hope and anxiety, watching history unfold in real time. The $26 trillion prize has made these waters among the most fiercely contested on Earth, a place where ambition, fear, and opportunity collide. The stakes could not be higher. For every Filipino, the outcome will shape not just the nation's economy, but its very identity and future. In the end, the nation's destiny may be decided not in the halls of power, but beneath the waves, where the promise of unimaginable wealth meets the challenge of sovereignty and survival. For more than 20 years, the Malampaya gas field has been the silent force powering Luzon, the Philippines' most populous island. Every day it has fueled millions of homes, kept factories running, and lit up bustling cities. Its energy has flowed through the veins of the nation, touching the lives of ordinary Filipinos in ways most never see. Discovered in the 1990s, Malampaya was a game-changer. It rescued the Philippines from a heavy reliance on imported fuel, saving the country billions of dollars over the years. By providing a cleaner, more reliable source of energy, it helped reduce pollution and set the stage for economic growth. Malampaya quickly became the backbone of Luzon's economy, powering over 40% of the island's electricity needs. It stood as a symbol of Filipino ingenuity and ambition, a testament to what the nation could achieve when it harnessed its own resources. But now, this once mighty giant is running dry. The gas that once flowed abundantly is dwindling, and the platform stands quieter than ever before. Its reserves are nearly exhausted. Experts warn that by the late 2020s, Malampaya will be gone, leaving a gaping hole in the nation's energy supply. This looming crisis threatens to plunge Luzon into rolling blackouts, drive up electricity prices, and spark economic instability for more than 60 million people. Families could face dark nights and higher bills while businesses struggle to keep the lights on. Without a new source of energy, the country risks falling back on expensive, dirty fuels like coal and diesel, undoing years of progress toward cleaner air and energy independence. The search for a replacement is now urgent. It's not just about keeping the lights on, it's a matter of national security, economic survival, and the well-being of every Filipino. The clock is ticking, and every day counts. The stability of the nation depends on finding a successor to Malampaya. The choices made today will shape the country's future for generations. The lights are already dimming in some places, and the race against time has truly begun. Engineers and policymakers are working around the clock, but the challenge is immense. The future of Philippine energy hangs in the balance. What happens next will determine whether the nation moves forward into a brighter era or slips back into darkness. As Malampaya fades, hope turns to Rito Bank, believed to hold even greater gas reserves. Tapping Rito Bank could secure decades of energy and transform the Philippines into a net exporter. But every attempt to explore is blocked by China's aggressive interference. Chinese Coast Guard and militia vessels confront Filipino survey ships, using intimidation and force. The Philippines has the legal right to these resources, but lacks the naval power to enforce it. Filipino scientists and engineers face military-grade vessels in a dangerous standoff. Rito Bank remains untouched, a treasure chest in plain sight, guarded by a dragon. The nation's best hope for energy security is locked away. The key is held by those determined to keep the Philippines out. The future remains hostage to power on the high seas. According to international law, specifically the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, the Philippines is granted exclusive rights to explore, exploit, and manage all natural resources within its exclusive economic zone, an area that includes the resource-rich Rito Bank. This legal framework is designed to ensure that coastal nations like the Philippines have control over their own waters, fisheries, and undersea resources, providing a clear boundary recognized by most of the world. In 2016, after years of legal battles and mounting tensions, the Hague-based Permanent Court of Arbitration delivered a landmark ruling. The tribunal sided with the Philippines, declaring that China's sweeping claims, marked by its so-called 9-dash line, had no legal basis under international law. This decision was celebrated as a major diplomatic victory for the Philippines and a reaffirmation of the rules-based international order. On paper, the matter seemed settled. The legal documents, stamped and signed, left little ambiguity about the Philippines' rights in the disputed waters. Yet, in reality, China outright dismissed the tribunal's decision. Instead of backing down, it has continued to assert its presence, sending Coast Guard and naval vessels to patrol and dominate the very waters the court said belonged to the Philippines. Chinese ships routinely patrol these contested areas, often harassing, blocking, and even using water cannons against Filipino fishing boats. These actions directly ignore the international ruling and create a climate of fear and uncertainty for local fishermen who depend on these waters for their livelihood. So while the Philippines holds a clear legal victory, China maintains de facto control of the sea, using its larger and more powerful fleet to enforce its will. This is not just a dispute over territory, it's a stark clash between the authority of international law and the reality of raw power on the water. International courts, after all, have no police force or navy to enforce their decisions. The law is only as strong as the willingness of nations to respect and uphold it. Without cooperation, even the clearest legal victory can feel hollow. The Philippines can file diplomatic protests and appeal to the global community, but it cannot physically move a Chinese cutter blocking its path. The imbalance of power is felt every day by those who venture out to sea. The line on the map offers clarity and hope, but in practice it provides little real protection against a determined adversary. The nation finds itself in a precarious position, armed with the strength of international law but facing the steel and might of a much larger power. For Filipino fishermen, every trip to sea is a reminder of this dangerous imbalance. Around the world, leaders and analysts watch closely, seeing in the South China Sea a test of the limits of international order. The outcome here could shape how nations resolve disputes far beyond these waters. And so the struggle continues, unresolved and ongoing, as ships patrol the waves and the world waits to see what will happen next. After losing the arbitration case, China doubled down, building artificial islands across the Spratlys. Reefs like Mischief and Fiery Cross became sprawling military outposts, complete with runways, harbors, and missile shelters. These unsinkable aircraft carriers project Chinese power deep into the West Philippine Sea. They serve as bases for Coast Guard and militia, enabling rapid response and constant surveillance. The islands establish a permanent military threat, shifting the regional balance of power. For the Philippines, these bases are an intimidating presence. Mischief Reef lies just 150 miles from Palawan. The transformation from sand to steel fortresses is a stark reminder of China's resolve. Legal victories mean little against military might. The region's geography and its future have been permanently altered. The stakes for the Philippines have never been higher. China's focus on the South China Sea goes beyond oil and gas. These waters are vital fishing grounds, a lifeline for millions. Control means securing food resources and outcompeting neighbors. The sea is also a critical shipping lane. 1/3 of global trade passes through. For China, securing these routes is national security, reducing reliance on U.S. policed waters. The 9-dash line is a symbol of historical destiny and national pride. Control allows China to project power beyond the first island chain, challenging U.S. dominance. The struggle is about strategic power, not just resources. The South China Sea is the key to China's vision of regional and global supremacy. The contest here will shape the future world order. Facing China's might, the Philippines relies on its alliance with the United States. The Mutual Defense Treaty promises U.S. support if the Philippines is attacked. Recent years have seen stronger U.S. commitments and more joint military exercises. American presence deters open conflict but also raises the stakes. China sees the Philippines as a pawn in U.S. strategy, responding with greater assertiveness. Every joint patrol risks escalation, making the region a potential flashpoint. The alliance is a shield but also a target. Some Filipinos fear being drawn into a superpower conflict. Navigating this relationship is a delicate balancing act. The Philippines must leverage U.S. protection without becoming a battlefield. The challenge is to defend sovereignty without inviting disaster. The nation walks a diplomatic tightrope with its future at stake. The Philippines is rich on paper, with legal rights to vast undersea wealth. But China's blockade keeps these resources out of reach. Legal victories have proven hollow against military force. Leaders face an impossible choice: risk confrontation, or accept being locked out of their own future. The standoff fuels national debate, between calls for defiance and warnings of pragmatism. For ordinary Filipinos, the impact is real lost livelihoods, power outages, and frustrated dreams. The nation's potential is stymied by forces beyond its control. The treasure under the sea brings not riches, but division and danger. The Philippines remains a nation of promise, its destiny just out of reach. The key to prosperity is held by others just beyond the shore. The West Philippine Sea mirrors the Philippines' struggle, immense potential constrained by powerful rivals. The nation faces a historic choice: unlock its wealth or watch it slip away. History warns of resources enriching others while Filipinos are left behind. The risk is repeating the past, this time with oil and gas. The only path forward is a careful balance, strengthening alliances, building defenses, and pursuing diplomacy. The answer will be written not just by law or force, but by national will and unity. Can the Philippines rally itself and the world to defend its rights? The future of the nation and the rules-based order hangs in the balance. The destiny of the Philippines is being written on the contested waters of the West Philippine Sea. The world is watching as history unfolds on the waves.